How the gentle wind beckons through the leaves as autumn colors fall, dancing in a swirl of golden memories, the loveliest lies of all.
Led through the mist by the milk light of moon, all that was lost is revealed. A mysterious place called the unknown, where long forgotten stories are revealed to those who travel through the wood.
Hello gremlins, I hope you liked the cozy atmosphere to open the video. This eventually will be a reading vlog, but I don't know what I'm reading yet. So I thought I would open with just like some fun cozy fall stuff. Though the candle I lit is lemon scented, but it smells really nice and it's like pound cake, so it smells like baked good, which is fall-esque. I started burning it when it was like less fall outside, and I don't like stopping and starting a candle, so I'm just gonna finish this candle out and then I'll switch to a more fall themed one. But oh, my hair is doing a thing. I am in my very cozy Sleepy Hollow shirt. I'm gonna turn around so you can see the back. It says heads will roll, which I think is very fun. But yeah, I don't know what I'm reading yet. I have a lot of options, so I'm going to discuss why very briefly I don't have books picked out yet. So it is Tuesday, it is new release day, and my library does get new release books. The tricky part is my library does not always update their online system or let you request holds of new releases online. You instead have to go to the physical library. So I legitimately feel like I'm a little blurry. Why am I blurry? Are you focusing on... You're focusing on Grogu. I'll just stand further back, I guess, so it focuses. But you have to like physically go and check the new release shelf in the downstairs, and then there's like a YA area that you can go in to look at books. That one is a bit trickier because there's like signs like you can't hang out in there if you're over 18, which totally makes sense. I do appreciate that. For young readers, like they have like a cozy space. There's an area for like teenagers to hang out, which is very cool. I would have loved that growing up. But they do put YA new releases on a special shelf in there, and you can go in even if you're an adult. You just like are supposed to grab the book and kind of leave. So there are 2 spots in the library that I need to check out today after work. This is my lunch break. I wanted to film this well, like before I headed out, so that you knew where we were going. But I don't know what's in, and I've been trying to check the online catalog, but I'm very sure it's not updated because certain locations have some books, but my library doesn't, and I know for a fact that they're all books they should be getting because they have other books by either that author or they have all the other books in that series. So I'm going with, depending on what I find at the library, will really lead to the theme of this vlog, because I have a hold-in. I have the hold-in for the short story collection that I was desperately hunting for years. So if I find no new releases, not a single one is on the shelf at the library and I can't get it, I will do a reading vlog solely focused on that short story collection, and that will be the theme. If there's so many cars outside. If there are new releases in, depending on the new releases, I'll cater the vlog towards those new releases. So if, let's say, Rachel Harrison's Play Nice is there and What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher is there, I may try and do like a more horror themed vlog or something like that. There are some YA romances. There's also an adult romance that are both sapphic that I do want to try and find. If those are in, I have romance books already. So I have a specific like YA romance that I bought. It was in the last video. The other one is a romance, but it could fit with like horror thriller because there's a serial killer mentioned in it. So that could fit with any theme, but I won't know what I'm going to read until I go to the library. So after work, I'm taking you with me. We are going to go into the fancy entrance because it's not rainy, the one with the lions. We will go in, we will check the new release shelf downstairs. I will let you see that. You will not get to see the YA section because I think it's odd to film in there because it is a space designed for teenagers. Like, I think they even do like 12 to 18, 12 to 17, or like you can be in there if you're 18, but you have to like still be in high school, I'm not going to film in there. I think that would be very awkward, very weird, especially in the event that there are people. I only ever go in there if there's like no one in that section because it's a special room, and I like wait until no one is in there. Typically it's free and it's fine, but like occasionally I've had to like go up, seen someone in there, and I just kind of like hang out near there's like a comic book manga section, and I'll like hang out there and just wait until they leave. So that's the plan. We will know the theme of this vlog once I go to the library. So keep that in mind. You'll know what the theme is based on the thumbnail possibly, unless I call this library determines my vlog. Sorry, I'm a little like sniffly today. I don't know. It is my asthma that's making me cough, but I'm sniffly for some reason. But yeah, I haven't finished watching Over the Garden Wall yet. I only have like 4 episodes left though. I'm finishing it today. Like I'll play it after lunch. Or after I film this clip. Because I wanted to make sure I had time. So yeah, that is the plan for the day. I will see you at the library, Gremlins. I guess you won't see me. You'll see my library, and then I will fill you in on the theme of the vlog from there. So let's get to the library.
Is it really?
Yeah, Katie's your mom, and then
I had no idea. I thought she was going to be all these years.
yeah, no, Katie's your mom. But she's actually like,
Hello, Gremlins. You would not have noticed this based on how I had to film at the library, but they had nothing. They had not a single book I was looking for. Turned out that I had the release date for one of them wrong, so that makes complete sense. But they didn't have the Rachel Harris book, and they were surprised they didn't have it because they were like, we don't even show it as like being, like, she couldn't find it at all. And she was like, that's a surprise, because they like always order them. So that they didn't have any of the YA stuff I was looking for. They didn't have the romance I was looking for, so big strikeout on the new releases. But they did have my hold. So that means this vlog is the All Hallows Eve 13 Stories by Vivian van Velde sole book reading vlog. This will be the only book in this vlog because I have been looking for this book for years. So there's a short story in here, and it's story number 3, and I will tell you the specific story before we start. It's called Morgan Roehmer's Boys, and that is the story I remembered. I detailed it in a short story vlog I did. I've talked about it in other vlogs because I could not figure out where this book came from. So shout out to the Lima Public Library in Ohio, because I emailed them and I was like, I know that I borrowed a book that had this story in it. I cannot figure out what it is. Can you look up in the system, like, any books I read, anything? And they're like, no, like, we don't track what people check out unless you ask us to do that yourself. That's like a thing you can turn on. I didn't ever turn that on, so there's no way to check my checkouts. And he was like, well, give me the plot of the story, we'll see what we can do. And he found it. And then thankfully my library had a copy of this. So I will be reading this book in this vlog that has a story that I have been thinking about for years and could not find. So this will be the focus. I've already done some cozy stuff. We'll maybe watch some like movies. I'm gonna drag this out a little bit because it is a short story book and it's not very big. But this will be a fun video, very cozy, very eerie, and very Halloween focused because all the stories in this take place on All Hallows Eve. So yeah, that'll be this vlog. Next vlog, I have already determined what it will be since the new releases weren't in. I do have a hold in for what I could put a hold in for, which was just plain ice. That was it. And I have to wait because I for some reason thought What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher was out already, and it's not. It's not out until the 30th. So I don't know why I thought it was already out. So yeah, the other stuff I wasn't sure they would actually get. So I tried. I'm about to cough. Yep. I'm gonna go. I need to make dinner. I'm actually gonna show you dinner. So I'm gonna get dinner on and then I'll show you because we're doing something very curious and culinarian. You'll see. All right, I gotta go. I gotta cough more and I don't want to do it on camera. So I will talk to you at dinner, gremlins. Hello, gremlins. Food is done. Krista is watching football things. First, this is my beverage. Do not ask if I've already had one of these. Don't do it. Just don't ask. They're really good. It's 1911 Haunted Hayride, and it is pumpkin spice flavored, and it was my shirt that I didn't change out of, and it's really good. But I had one while I was cooking because food took a little bit. So dinner is interesting. So we watched a video where someone had mac and cheese on a burger, and Krista really wanted to try it, but no one around here was doing that. So we got burgers and fries at Five Guys and Stouffer's mac and cheese at the store. And I made Stouffer's mac and cheese and then put it on the burgers. We also have some fries. So like there's not, I'll show you, there's not a ton of mac and cheese, so it's not like wild, but there's some mac and cheese on there. And then some fries. So we're gonna eat. Goose is very interested. Oh, Goose is going to eat my burger. I may or may not get to have dinner. We'll see. But we're gonna eat. And I'm gonna, yep, she is eating my burger. I'm not gonna stop her. She's very upset that we changed furniture. Oh, Salem likes the couch. We swapped out this thing we called the sofa bed that was like a settee, technically.
It was really hard.
It was a very hard storage ottoman. If that's what you call them.
The doggies slept on it and then they would
yeah, the dogs weren't comfortable, so we swapped this in. You can't really tell because there's a blanket on it, but it's one of those like boneless couches. So it's really, really soft. Bruni, Chloe, and Kira like it, though Kira doesn't trust the cushions, so she's been using it as a pillow. So she lays on the bed and puts her head on it. But Goose is on it, and she's been afraid of it all day. She's standing on it. She did it. Okay, we're gonna eat. But behold, Goose making great strides in accepting new pieces of furniture. I knew I was gonna cough. Dang it. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna eat. But I will talk to you later, gremlins. I feel like this will taste pretty good. It's Stouffer's mac and cheese on a burger, so just assume it was tasty. Good morning, gremlins. My kitchen is very loud today. I'm pouring my favorite cold brew pumpkin coffee. This is Stokes pumpkin creamed into this cup. I'm not giving myself a lot because I'm trying to like savor this. I really wanted cold coffee, so ta-da, cold coffee in my Care Bear Dracula, Care Bear pumpkin glitter mug. But I'll talk to you more in a little bit. I just desperately need coffee. Hello, gremlins. I have the coffee that I poured. Didn't really make it, just poured it. It's so good. Oh my gosh. I also desperately need caffeine. I'm just so tired today. I'm also wearing, to be in theme with the All Hallows Eve short story collection, my North Country Nightmare shirt. I will turn around because the print is on the back. Like, this is the logo. I have a hat with this logo that last year I wore all the time. And this is the back. And that is actually where I'll be scare actoring. So I'll get into that more when I fully know what I'm doing. I know I'm in the haunted house, so, but we like didn't rehearse or practice or anything, and so I don't really know where my character is supposed to go. I have a character, but I am in the haunted house, which is very cool because the haunted trail is really creepy and very cool, but like so many bugs. It's so many bugs. I would have had to wear so much bug spray, and I think I'll be better off in the haunted house, but I'm very, very excited. We'll find out more Friday, so I don't think this video is going to go until Friday, but throughout the course of me working at the haunted house, I will like fill you in on what I'm doing. I've been working, I'm there on Friday nights and Saturday nights. Though like the rehearsal, like we were practice on Friday and then a rehearsal a week from Saturday, like a big dress rehearsal. So yeah, but there's gonna be something for that in this because I need to prep a pair of shoes to wear. Because I'm inside the haunted house, I don't have to wear boots. So I bought shoes that don't have laces or anything that would kind of fit the sort of hospital tone of their haunted house. And I have some spray blood, like you can use it on fabric and like clothing, not on people. And I'm gonna put some like blood spattery spray on the shoes so they like fit our costumes, because we've seen the costumes and I tried them on to make sure they could fit into one. It's just like scrubs with fake blood and stuff. These sleeves are like just the wrong length. There we go. They'd be fine pulled down, but I'm a little warm, so I want them pushed up. Brain. But yeah, so I like tried on my costume. It's basically scrubs with spray blood and like fake dirt on them, so they're comfy, which is nice. But I was like, oh, I need shoes, and Krista and I were talking and she was like, you should get like the like laceless shoes, like the kind of shoes that you would think you'd be wearing in like the hospital or something, because it is very like asylum hospital themed. So yes, I'm very excited. I'm really excited. I'm very tired, so like my excitement is not abundant, I feel like, but I thought I would wear this because the story that I am the most excited about in All Hallows Eve is set at a haunted attraction. So the plan for this video, because there are only 13 stories in here, and is it even 13? Yeah, 13 stories. There are only 13 stories, and I'm gonna like kind of read them slowly, but probably not that slowly. So I'm gonna fill you in each time I finish like one or two. The specific story that I have been desperately waiting to read is the third one, and I'm gonna give it its own update. So everything else will be in like groups of 2 or 3. I did read recently Vivian Van Velde's Curses Inc. and thought that the story I was looking for was actually in that book, but it wasn't. But Curses Inc. is a fun one. It's also very like Halloween-y, creepy themed, and some of the stories were like very, very cool. So I do recommend Vivian Van Velde. They're YA, but I think they're very well done, so highly recommend. But I don't have a ton of time before work. I just thought I'd do a little check-in to give you a plan for the video. So, oh, I actually wonder, okay, so Morgan Roehmer's Boys also appeared in Gothic 10 Original Dark Tales, edited by Deborah Noyes. I don't know. I probably did read this one, but it's possible I also read that one. So I don't know. I'm not going to track that book down because it's really just that story that I was trying to find and remember. And since I liked Vivian Van Velde's other collection, I will just stick with this one. But because they're all by the same author, that's pretty easy. And then so I won't have to fill you in on an author. And she does try and like modulate her tone, so it kind of feels like different writers a little bit. You'll understand what I'm talking about, like themes of the stories. But this cover is so early 2000s. This is like very 13 Ghosts. I'm trying to think. It just like makes me think of like 13 Ghosts, trailers for like The Ring. Just that like screaming woman's face that's like distorted. So, and like the text feels very early 2000s, like found footage, like Blair Witch. So that is very, very in keeping with early 2000s ghost stories. Maybe we'll watch an early 2000s movie tonight, because tonight there's no football, but tomorrow there is football. And Krista already did her like waiver wires and stuff. I have to remember to tell her to set her lineup, I think. Sports. Also, if you're doing fantasy football, I don't know how many people watching me would be doing fantasy football, but it is possible. She was like, please, if anyone has advice or tips or wants to help me, let them know. So if you have fantasy football tips, please let me know. You can put it in the comments for my lovely wife. But I need to go. I just wanted to like give you an idea of how the video is going to go. I'm going to try and read some at some point today. It's a goofy day, so like schedule wise outside of work, so we'll see what we can do. My lunch break is going to be kind of busy, and then sorry, I wasn't looking at you, I was like staring into the distance. But yeah, my work day, like my lunch break time is gonna involve doing some stuff in the house, so it's like stuff that has to get done. So I don't know that I'll be able to read during lunch, but maybe I will. I'll see how everything shakes out, because I do want to start reading this, because I'm like very excited. So yes, I will talk to you later, gremlins. Oh, I almost thought I was gonna cough. When I have an All Hallows Eve update for you, but I'm gonna go. Okay, gremlins, it is lunch, and well, it's during lunch. I always feel like I say it's lunch, like I'm going to be eating on camera, but I'm not. So I was able to get 3 stories read. during my lunch break. They were really short for the most part, and Krista was taking care of something and I was kind of in the way, so I was like, I will just wait. So I did read, so this is what I'm doing. I skipped the key story, the story we're all here for, the deceased serial killer story, and I read Come In and Rest a Spell, Marion, and Only on All Hallows Eve. So this is just gonna be like I'm gonna try to keep them not too spoilery, but still tell you what they're about, because I've like already told you all of the Morgan Roehmer's Boys story because I was trying to find it. So if you've watched other videos, I've spoiled that one completely already, but I will tell you the other ones, and I'll talk to you about that one because I'll get more details. But Come In and Rest a Spell is, you're in the point of view of an old woman who seems like she's maybe like the town witch, or like a woman who does favors, and she is speaking, well, I guess she's talking to you, so you're technically the young woman who has come to her door, but she is talking to you. So I got that wrong. You're an unspeaking young girl, and she is talking to you and saying like, oh, let me guess why you're here. Oh, I'm so old. Oh, just, it'll take a moment. I'm so very old. Like, I'm so sorry. Please drink this. Oh no, he will also have to drink this. Because, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cough in this. There's no way around it. I've just been kind of coughing more with the weather changes. My asthma's a little meh. It's not that bad. It's just the coughing part. But the old woman is like convincing you to drink this potion, and what comes from there is a sort of be careful what you wish for bit of a moment, which you would expect. Vivian Van Velde has done those in other stories where it's been like a witchy story, and it's a very much like, oh, you shouldn't have asked for that. So that is that story. Then Marion follows teenage boy who is at a Halloween party, and he's decided to leave because it's lame, and he's a very reckless driver, and he has this like old kind of crappy car that he bought off a college kid for kind of cheap, but like the car doesn't really work, and he constantly is speeding, and he like sails over a speed bump, and when he crashes down, like a bunch of warning lights go off on the car, and then suddenly the car starts talking to him. The car is like, hello, my name is Marion, and like it's an abbreviation for something, and they're like, we're an automated GPS system and we're here to assist you. And the thing is acting like a GPS system, but it's very strange because it's like an old car, and he's like, oh, well, all right, cool. So the car is like directing him, saying like, oh, there's traffic here, there's traffic there, because he wants the quickest way home. He's like, yeah, the fastest, like, so I can go fast. And that's like really this guy's whole personality is driving cars fast. And the car gets him to like follow a certain route, and then when the car is going, all of a sudden he like takes a wrong turn and the car stalls. And he's like, oh, and the car's like, sorry, vapor lock, wait 5 minutes, and is like explaining to him like, you must wait, you must wait, you must wait. But he starts hearing a train whistle, and the car is consistently saying, you must wait, you must wait. Please note, this car is so old it would not have built-in GPS, so something is afoot, and something has him waiting on a set of active railroad tracks with a train coming. And he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, like, please, what do I do? And the GPS is just like, wait, and then keeps saying the train is like decelerating, the train, like, you'll have 12 seconds to get off the tracks, and then whoosh, something happens with the train in the car. I'm not gonna tell you. But we also learn what Marion is at the end of the story specifically. And I did also like that one. That one is sort of a revenge plot, which was delightful. The other one, Only on All Hallows Eve, follows, what is his name? I'll actually give you his name because I didn't give you the guy's name in the other one. His name is Martin. So Martin, this one is set in like, I'm gonna just say generic olden times, because it's like a village and like a preacher has come to town and is talking about purgatory, and is saying on All Hallows Eve, ghosts from purgatory will rise to heaven. And no one in the town has ever heard it explained that way, and they're kind of like, what are you talking about? That's so weird, but whatever. And so Martin gets it in his head that he wants to prank this woman named Elfrida, whose husband has gone off to the war. He's like, I'm gonna make her think that, because everyone's like, oh, he's totally dead. Like, he is dead. Like, he would not have lasted long in a war. So he's like, I'll be her husband, I'm gonna scare her. And he like wants his friend to come do it with him, and his friend's like, no thanks. Like, I'm too old to prank, I want a girlfriend. In old-timey speak, of course. So it's very generic old-timey. There's no like year included, so I'm just saying old-timey. Think like puritanical village, Salem times maybe. That's what I was picturing. But he decides to prank her. He has this all set up. He goes to prank her, and the prank goes horribly wrong because Elfrida is not a woman you mess with, but for a number of reasons. Yeah, the whole going off to war thing may not be true. So those are the 3 that I was able to read. There are 9 left then, since I skipped the one I'm doing at the end. So you'll probably get like 2 more updates with 3 stories each, and then we'll do a big final update with the story that I'm most eagerly wanting to read. But I don't know, I'll probably spread that out a little. I do want to watch like Bob's like Halloween episodes or a movie tonight. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I will update you when I can on the rest of it. Just slowly. We're doing this slowly. We're having a fun time doing some cozy stuff. I really do kind of want to watch a movie, and I think we're getting Taco Bell tonight, which is cozy for me. But they re-released their like 2000s menu, and I'm like, the 7-layer burrito is back, and I loved the 7-layer burrito. I was a vegetarian in high school, and I ate that 7-layer burrito all the time because it was one of their like biggest vegetarian options. So I desperately want a 7-layer burrito. So I think we're doing that for dinner. Maybe I think we were talking about it. We were talking about doing it for dinner. I don't know if that's happening today though. We shall see. But I will talk to you later, Gremlins, when I have food updates, book updates, some kind of update. Hello, Gremlins. I promise this will be the last update in the office, but it's the end of the day. It was easy to set you up. It's actually a little bit after work because I wanted to read 3 stories. Also, I can't do math because I obviously have this update, and then there will be 2 more after this one because dividing it by 3 stories, each update, excluding the one that's getting its own, would be 4 updates. I did not do math correctly. It doesn't really matter. But I am here to talk to you about 3 more stories from All Hallows Eve. So this set of stories is Cemetery Field Trip, Best Friends, and Pretending. So some of these are longer than others. So Cemetery Field Trip is pretty long, and so is Pretending. Then the Best Friends one is like super short. That's how I could read them so quick, like get them in really quick after work before we go get Taco Bell. Which, again, I'm including because it's nostalgic and fun. And I would have been eating these foods when I was the age that I read this book, because I definitely read this when I was a teenager. But let's get back to the book. So Cemetery Field Trip follows Janelle, and her entire class is on a field trip to the cemetery, but it's because they've been reading Victorian like literature, Victorian works of literature in some capacity for school. And their teacher, Miss Hurston, planned this field trip for like the fall. It's definitely, so all of these I think are set in upstate New York or in the New York area. They mentioned upstate New York specifically, it's near Rochester, and the book is actually dedicated to, let me pull it up, members of RACWI, Rochester area children's writers and illustrators. So this is all very much set in like the New York area, upstate New York, Rochester-y, around in there. So they're at a cemetery. They don't say which cemetery, but they do mention specifically, I knew I was gonna cough. There we go. Susan B. Anthony and Nathaniel Rochester. So they're like at a historic cemetery, but there are actually people who are still interred. So it's still an active cemetery, but also historic. And the assignment is really just to like walk around, take in the cemetery, and then report back like what you see, what you hear, what you smell, that kind of stuff. So it's more observational. So while Janelle is walking through the cemetery with her friends, they are looking at older graves. She trips over a grave at a certain point and gets a little distracted. Then she starts hearing like a mewling sound, and she's like, oh, okay. Well, you need to keep in mind, on the way to the cemetery, the kids were all kind of being sort of rude. The teacher even says this, and she's like, you're being so politically incorrect, because they see a man and they decide he is a homeless man. And the teacher's like, that's not what you call them, but fine, and kind of like lets it go. And so just keep in mind there is a man in the cemetery besides the school, because he was walking to the cemetery or was near the gates. So she keeps hearing this mewling. They're not allowed to go into the, oh my gosh, why can't I remember what they're called? It's listed. Hold on. Mausoleums. I knew I would get it before I looked at it. So they're not allowed in the mausoleums, but she keeps hearing the sound. She thinks it's a kitten at first, and then she's like, no, maybe it's a baby, because apparently a family member has recently had a child, and she's like, it sounds like their baby, like what is going on? And then that draws her to the mausoleum. Now, upon going to the mausoleum, all of them were locked except this one, and Janelle's conscience is like, oh gosh, I have to check on this. Like, I have to see if it's a baby. Like, maybe someone broke in and left the baby. Like, who knows? And she's like very worried. So she goes into this mausoleum and then something horrifying happens. And that's all I'm really going to tell you. There are ghosts in this story, but not exactly the evil kind. Though there is a villain in this, and I'll have you guess what the villain is. But it was very, like, perfect cemetery, like, because they said, like, ghosts will steal your soul, like, your life force through your eyes. And it was just, like, a very, like, sweet message from the ghosts, ultimately. So I did enjoy that one. The next one is very short, and it's called Best Friends. And this follows Nikki and Amy Ann. So Nikki and Amy Ann are in kind of, like, dual perspectives and have very different views of each other. So Nikki thinks Amy Ann, the two of them, are absolutely best friends, basically sisters, like, have been friends for forever, like, huge, like, pinnacle friendship, where they can never be apart. Amy Ann does not like Nikki. She is basically like, it was fine hanging out with her, but, like, Nikki is annoying, and she's like, I'm trying not to cough too much, but, like, I don't know what, let me, one sec. Okay, sorry, I knew that was gonna happen. I was trying not to do it on camera, but, like, I could tell that I was gonna keep coughing, but, best friends. So Nikki very much is like, oh, I get to go camping with her family every year because they can't separate us. Like, we're such good friends. You would never separate us. And Amy Ann's like, I hate that she comes camping with us. I hate having to hang out with her. But, like, my mom says, we're so well off. And Nikki's mom is, like, really struggling because she's not married and she has 2 different jobs. And she has to take care of her daughter. And, like, she doesn't really have money. So, like, I have to give her stuff. And, like, that's fine. I don't mind. But also, like, she's so annoying. Then we learn that, because Nikki says, like, were, she says, like, a past tense word while describing the two of them. And I was like, ooh. And Nikki has died very, very quickly in this story because it is very short. But Ghost Nikki is very persistent. And Ghost Nikki does not want to be alone. I will say, I guess not like a trigger warning, and this was written in the early 2000s. For some bizarre reason, Amy Ann uses the R word. Now, I know in the early 2000s that was like a word used frequently. So I guess in the keeping of tone, it like mimicking how a kid would talk in the early 2000s, fine. But still, like, it didn't need to be there. It's of the time, I guess, but it was just annoying that was in there. But overall, I did like that story. Just that part was, that art word note was annoying. Then pretending is, so there's a guy, oh gosh, I lost his name. Brian. So Brian is going to pick up his date Kyla, and Kyla kind of lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, I shouldn't have asked her, like, this drive is so annoying. He's in his very old but cool car. He's driving, he's like, I cannot find this house. He finally finds the house. The outside of the house is pretty worn down. He's like, ugh, fine. He like goes up because he's like, oh, if I honk, like, her parents will be annoyed. That happened with another girl, so like, I'll go up. He goes up and her parents are in vampire costumes, and he's like, what the heck? And they're like talking like vampires, and they like offer him blood, quote unquote, and all of this stuff. And Kyla is still getting ready, and so he's like, this is so weird. And then her brother shows up and is like, hey, I think you have a flat, like, you've been kind of like, these country roads suck, so like, I can check it out, we can get it fixed. So he goes out to fix this flat, and he thinks her parents are being weird. He's like, okay, he said something, there's like a mention of a Halloween party. He's like, okay, if they're having a Halloween party, it's less weird. But then when he's trying to work on the car, the brother that was supposed to help him like disappears. And the way I thought this story was gonna go is that like Kyla was dead, like everyone was dead, because that's like a common story where like you go somewhere and then everyone is missing. But no. So he like goes back into the house and he's like, oh my gosh, this is so weird, like, where is everyone? Because no one's around. Like, the door kind of locks behind him somehow, and he's like, I can't open the door, like, this is so weird. He like goes into the kitchen, he's like, this is just strange. Like, he sees a rat, he thinks, and he's like, I just don't know what's going on, like, where are they, what is going on? And then he hears them from upstairs, and they're like, hey, sorry, like, we were helping Kyla with her costume and we're locked in her room, can you just like come help us with the door? Who's playing really loud music? Where? I'm gonna have to pause again, one sec. Okay, the car's left. Oh my gosh, this is like the most annoying clip, I'm sure, at this point. But he goes upstairs to see where they are, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, what can I do? And he opens the door and something falls out that terrifies him, and he falls down the stairs, and then you're like, oh god, is he dead? But he's not dead. But They're not vampires, you see. Something else, more nefarious, is happening on this Halloween night with a full moon. It was very, like, the twist at the end was cute. More cute than, like, scary, because ultimately the story is kind of a prank. So it feels a little bit Goosebumps-esque in that regard. But now I'm on to the next 3. I will probably recap you on them after we eat dinner. Oh, there's an actual, like, card in the back, like a checkout card. 2009 is when they got this. But yeah, so I will fill you in probably after we eat. I'm gonna bring you with us, but what are the 3 I have? I'm gonna go back up here. So the next 3 that I will be recapping are I Want to Thank You, When and How, and When My Parents Come to Visit. So yes, I will probably fill you in on those when we have finished eating. Because we're gonna drive over to Taco Bell. I asked Krista if we could swing by Spirit solely so I can use Spirit to get a thumbnail photo. Normally I would take a bunch of photos of different books, but since this is the only book, I want to try and get like a fun background, and I don't think Spirit will be super busy today. So I'm hoping we can just like pop in, pop out, and then get Taco Bell. And it's easier to get to Taco Bell if we stop there because Taco Bell's on that side of the road. It would make sense if you lived here. The road is bafflingly busy all the time, and certain areas have lights and some don't, and the Taco Bell is not really near, it's near a light but not one that would help you get into it. So if we go to Spirit, we can drive down and just turn in more easily. So we're gonna do that. I'm just gonna wear this shirt because I like the shirt, and I'm probably gonna finish this book in this shirt. So yeah, that's the update for now. Sorry for all the stops and starts with me coughing and then cars. But there you go. Those are the 3, and I'll be back with 3 more short stories for you. Plus Taco Bell, plus Spirit Halloween. I don't think I'll take you into Spirit. I am going to take you through the Taco Bell drive-thru though, because I'm very excited about this Taco Bell order. Alright, talk to you later, gremlins. Behold, the very overlit Taco Bell sign. We are here. We're here for the foods. There's even a sign. You can kind of see it. It says Decades Y2K. Taco Bell. To the drive-thru. To the drive-thru. Okay, we're gonna get food. Actually, I'll try and show you the menu, but I'm not recording us ordering. That would be weird. There's a Decades box. Hi. All right, vlog. This is the Horde. Krista has food too, but this is just my food. So I got a double layer taco, which I don't remember ever. I got a 7-layer burrito, which I loved. I mean, it's just gonna look like a burrito, but behold, 7-layer burrito. I got chips and cheese, which were not part of the Decades thing, and then I got a caramel apple empanada, which I didn't order very often, but I do remember them. So this is what I'm having for dinner. And then they're doing a Crunchwrap Supreme box, which I'll probably try and get later this week, because it's the $9 Luxe box is a Crunchwrap, 2 Ranch Doritos tacos, and something else was in it. Chips and cheese maybe, and you got a drink. But I got this because I really wanted a 7-layer burrito, and that was the only, you had to buy it separately. So this is what I'm going with. Krista got nachos, which they did put in the cool box that says like Decades. And then she got the chili burrito, which I had never had, and that was part of the Decades, and she got a 7-layer burrito too. But we're gonna eat. They were sadly out of Baja Blast Zero, but I had one in the fridge. So I'm having a little Baja Blast Zero with mine. And then I might have a drink later, solely because I think it would be fun to read the final story in this, because I did read more than planned. I was like reading a little bit. And yeah, so I have a plan for the final story, but I have to recap you on the 6 that I wound up reading. So we'll get into that, but I am definitely going to eat. So talk to you later, gremlins. And Bob's. I forgot to tell you we're watching Bob's, gremlins. So every year we watch all of the Bob's Burgers Halloween. We like do all of the holiday ones around their collective, like their specific holiday. But we're going to start the watch of the Halloween episodes. So I'm going to queue up Full Bars, which is the first one. It's season 3, episode 2. And we're going to eat. So talk to you later. Hello, gremlins. Food has been eaten. I am very cozy in bed. We have watched 2 episodes of Bob's, and I'm gonna fill you in. My hair's doing whatever it wants today. Fill you in on the 6 stories that I finished in All Hallows Eve. So the first story is I Want to Thank You, which is very short. It's like a 1-page short story, and it is you're being talked to by someone and she's like, thank you for protecting me from the witch hunters. I'm not a witch, I swear. Thank you for putting me in this basement. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for saying you never saw me, but perhaps we could consider the options here. This definitely is like a very short, like, this character is doomed scenario. Then when and how is the next one. This one is longer, and again, I believe all of these are set in New York because this one is set in Lilydale. So Lilydale is a real place. It's like a psychic community in New York. I've never been there, but I used to read a book series that was set in Lilydale ages ago. I swear the books were like neon colored or like very bright and always had like food on the cover. I don't remember what it was called though. I'm not hunting those down. I just like think it was set in Lilydale. If I googled like series set in Lilydale for teens, I'm sure I could find it. But a group of friends goes to Lilydale on Halloween and they want to get their fortunes told, but everyone is super expensive. It's like $50. Oh gosh! Krista was talking to Goose and Goose almost fell out of the cat tree. So they go to Lilydale and everything is too expensive, way too expensive. And then they find a guy who's basically a chain-smoking Russian or like Eastern European man. And he's like, fine, like a reading's $50, but there are 5 of you. So if you each want to give me like $10, I'll answer a question for each of you. He then answers a question for every single person. And the person that we're focused on specifically is Marissa. And she can't think of a question. He's like, do you want me to tell you when you die? And she's like, what? Are you even allowed to do that? And then we learned like her mom had a friend who asked a psychic when she would die. And then she died like immediately after. So she's like, I don't really want to know. Unless I like don't die for a really long time. The guy's like, okay, you live to be like 75, like about 75. He's like detailing all this stuff. But everyone else's questions get very interesting answers. For you see, they all get sort of like, you'll never be happier than you are now. Oh, it's Mars, the hippo. Oh,
It's today's, so when you're...
oh gosh, okay. We've been watching Mars the hippo reels. They're very cute. But I'll be quick. So like all of her friends, their questions get answered very interestingly. So what else? We learn, I'm gonna tilt you. Yeah, he gives like a very specific, like, this is exactly how you'll die, a plane will be involved, all of this stuff. But then everyone else is like, someone asks like, will I marry? And he's like, no, you won't. He marries someone else and he won't say who. Someone asks like, who will I marry or will I be with? And the person says, no, you will die alone. Like a bunch of them are very like, no, but, kind of like, the phrasing of them is very interesting.
Oh no, he has sunburn.
Oh no!
He was outside too long.
Oh gosh. Okay, I will hurry. I'm close. I have a few more and then I'll be done with the recapping. But then it's raining really hard and they all get in the car and then a semi-truck appears and everyone's fortunes make sense. Except Marissa's. Marissa's is sad. Marissa's is very sad and does still involve a plane. Yeah, just sad. Oh, this one is, so then there's one called When My Parents Come to Visit. And in that one, that is the next one, right? I didn't flip too far. Yeah. When My Parents Come to Visit is incredibly upsetting. There's a kid named Matt, and he keeps talking about how his parents are coming to visit, and he lives with his grandma. But his parents only show up on Halloween, and his parents hate each other. Hate each other with a fiery passion. A fiery passion so huge that even though they only see their kid one time a year, they try to kill each other the entire time. And we like watch as that's unfolding. Matt and his Nona are trying to like get them to stop fighting for at least like 5 seconds. And I will explain that this event ends very abruptly because his parents do successfully start to kill each other. And there's a reason they disappear. And then also Nona disappears. It's a very clever one. I did really like that one. And that one's pretty long. Oh, Edward Lost and Far From Home is sad. This one, we learn it's All Hallows Eve. There's a boy named Edward working on a farm, like in the past. It's definitely olden times, or I think it's olden times. If it's not olden times, he's in the middle of nowhere, but, it has to be olden times. He is like thatching a roof, and the guy he works for is terrible, and he basically gets like no food, no water. He just has to like do all this hard labor just for shelter, and it's terrible. And when he gets all the animals, because the guy's like, let's put the animals in, and we like learn that he's been working incredibly hard for a year. Like dirt is encrusted in his body. He barely gets to eat. He's constantly freezing. His hands have split numerous times from the winter. The summer is even worse because he has to pull the plow himself. And then when we learn that it's All Hallows Eve, when he gets locked out of the house, we learn that Edward is lost and far from home due to his own actions, and that perhaps this is not even his time. So that one was a very be careful what you wish for. My hand is getting tired, so one sec. I'm gonna put it down and then I'll recap the last two. So hold on. Oh god.
Crispy potato.
Okay, I'm back. My arm is slightly rested and we watched the very cute Mars video. The next story is My Real Mother, and I actually kind of remembered this story. So this is definitely the book that I read back in the early 2000s. Oh, this is like a Y2K themed. Taco Bell and I are on the same wavelength, very Y2K over here. But this is My Real Mother, and we are with Evelyn, who has been living with a very rich woman as her adoptive mother for a very long time, but her adoptive mother has gotten married. We know Evelyn is too young to drive or have a permit, so I think she's 15. And she is very upset that her adoptive mother has remarried and now wants her to like get along with her husband and these two new boys, and she doesn't understand like why she can't just do what she wants. And so she's like, I'm gonna find my real parents and go live with them. And so she does find her real parents, and like online, which is amazing. Her computer is a PI because you would think these people would have hidden their address, but they didn't. Oh, so cute.
Put leaves on his head.
Yes, very cute.
For sunblock.
But she tracks them down. She tells her adoptive parents, like, I want to go find them. And her adoptive parents are like, no, that's an invasion of privacy. You're not doing that. Like, they may not want to meet you. And she's like, but they're my actual parents. Like, it's the same names for my birth certificate. Like, I'm going to go meet them. Then an event occurs where she cuts her own arm, then sets up some scarecrows in front of the house. Because her step siblings are at their mother's house because they're from a first marriage. And she's like, and my adoptive parents are going to a party. Are they though? And then she puts on this like whole elaborate outfit to go find her adoptive parents. She drives, which she should not be doing. Takes her hours and hours because she is 15 and doesn't know how to drive at night and shouldn't even be driving a car at all. She gets there and she does indeed meet her adoptive parents. But you see, there is a reason she was put up for adoption, and it is depressing for her, and she really should never have found them. Just ruins her own life, this Evelyn, in her quest to find her parents, because she's mad at her adoptive mother. Then the final technical story of this is Holding On, which is very, very sad. So Harlan is a little boy and he is playing with a cat. And he's like, oh, it must be Halloween, because he can suddenly see this other boy, but he can't communicate with him. He can only see him. And he's like, he keeps doing all of this stuff, and he's like seeing him hurt himself, and he wants to stop it. So he's like yelling and yelling and yelling, but never stops. And like every year it keeps getting kind of worse. Like he sees the boy and the boy is doing something to hurt himself, and he keeps screaming and screaming like, stop, 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 please stop. And finally, this year, the boy hears him, and he's like, what? And he's like, you can hear me. You can never hear me. Please stop. And he's like, it's okay. It's all right. It wasn't your fault. And so this one is a bit of a twist because it is Halloween, so the idea is you can see spirits. But as the story starts, you can't tell if Harlan is seeing a ghost or if something else is going on. And then it is a very touching, like, forgiveness story. So this one was very sweet. It was a sweet, little sad way to end the collection. But we are now on to the final story that I'm going to be reading. Morgan Roehmer's Boys. The story we've all been waiting for years, some of us. But I'm gonna go get a Haunted Hair cider and get cozy. And we're probably gonna watch a little bit more Bob's, and then I will read it.
Oh, hey, you people out there.
told them to give you fantasy football advice in my opening clip.
Well, I need specific advice. So I have JJ McCarthy as my backup. So he sucked until the fourth quarter and then he exploded out of necessity. I don't know if we can wait to the fourth quarter for him to figure out how to be a quarterback every week. And he only put up like 20 points. So we're not like talking to like massive points here. And Daniel Jones, who put up 34.95 points, is available right now, and I can pick him up if I drop JJ McCarthy. If Daniel Jones has another baller week, then he's not going to be available to pick up anymore. So what do I do? Do I drop JJ? Do I pick up Daniel? Do I keep JJ? What do you say, peoples?
Would I post this? I don't know if any of this will be relevant anymore.
Meh.
I'm so sorry, but I don't know when I'm posting it.
Meh.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go get cozy and then we're gonna read Morgan Roehmer's Boys, which I've already spoiled for you. So you'll get a recap. I'm probably gonna spoil the entire story for you because I already have. Because in my quest to find this, I did. I really did. So I'm gonna go get my haunted hayride cider because Morgan Roehmer's Boys is set at a haunted attraction / hayride, so it fits perfectly. And I've digested enough of my Taco Bell that I can eat the caramel empanada now. Caramel apple empanada now. I need to heat it up.
Her food was made in the 2000s.
Yes. This is all very
really,
2000s
really
themed.
old Taco Bell that she couldn't wait to eat.
I mean, I would bet some of those sauce packets, like I think a sauce packet from the early 2000s would still be edible. I would think. Anyway, I'm gonna go get my stuff, get cozy. The TV turned off because I talked for too long. So I'll be back, Gremlins, for Morgan Roehmer's Boys, because I have been waiting to read this story for so long.
We also have Murders in the Building.
Oh shoot, we do have that.
The first 3 episodes are up.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. So many things. So many things. I will talk to you later, Gremlins. Well, sooner rather than later. Hello, Gremlins. I have read Morgan Roehmer's Boys. Also have been drinking this 1911 Haunted Hayride, which is very fun, and if you can get it, you should get it, because the packaging is cute, and it's pretty tasty. Alright. Now, for the big discussion we have all been waiting for. So, Morgan Roehmer's Boys is set in roughly present day for this book, at least, so 2006. It's set in the time period, and it takes place at a haunted hayride that is on what is like a family-owned farm in this town. So we are with Ashley, who is in charge of the barn and the barn setup. So in the barn, there is like, they're sort of like mannequins, pseudo-animatronics, and it's like a scene where like she plays the victim and she's being stabbed. So there's like a whole setup. She's supposed to run at the hayride with this knife, screaming that she's dying. So that's what she's supposed to be doing. But then a thunderstorm rolls in, and it's a big enough thunderstorm that they have to halt the hayride. Probably close it down for the night, but halt the hayride. She is already in the barn, and it's raining so hard that she doesn't leave the barn. She's like, I'm just gonna stay here. Downside is all the other, like, it's mostly high school seniors, some college kids, and she's only working here, this is her first week, because she has a thing for Nico, whose family owns the hayride, but it turns out that he's kind of like very good at his hayride running job and has no interest in her. So she's like, she's like there, but she really just wants boys to pay attention to her while she's there. So she's a little upset that none of the boys like ask where she is or how she's doing. But we do find out that everyone else is really hanging out in this area that has like snacks that was closer to other parts of the hayride. The creepy part for Ashley though is that the barn is specifically on the site of Morgan Roehmer's old house. So the part of the land that was torn down and built on top of is solely that piece of property. The rest of the land was turned into like orchards, farmland, and then the family that purchased the land in the 1970s built their house on the opposite side. They did not want anything to do with Morgan Roehmer's house. And this is because we learn that in like 1969, late 60s, Morgan Roehmer was in a shootout where he did not survive after his woman friend, that's how they refer to her, went to the police and said, there's a weird smell in this house and he's terrible. I'm pretty sure he killed 2 people. So the cops come out thinking like she's just complaining. It's the 60s. And then they're like, oh my god, there's actually dead bodies in here. Like cut up Dexter style dead bodies. And seemingly every one of these many dead bodies is identified. They're all boys and young men of roughly 17 years old. Morgan, though, as soon as the police arrive, panics. So the shootout occurs before they find the bodies because he basically freaks out and is like, don't look at my house! And then, well, I guess not, but you get it. So that's how that went. All the bodies were supposed to be removed from the property and buried, given to the families, all that necessary stuff to lay them to rest properly. So they know that the house where the bodies were found, it was where the barn is now. It's been like cemented. There are no remnants, seemingly, of that original house. Ashley is getting kind of spooked because it's thunderstorming really badly. She's accidentally broken her headset again, the second time. So she can't contact anyone, and she keeps thinking she's seeing something in the barn, but also there's a number of mannequins. There's someone hanging from the ceiling. Like, she can't tell if it's shadows. She's like, you're just getting really scared. Stop being scared. She also has nothing to distract her because she didn't bring her homework. And she was like, you could play a Game Boy in here, but she apparently didn't bring her Game Boy. So she's like freaked out, looking around the barn, trying to figure out, like, what did she see? Because she thinks she sees a shape, a human shape. And she's like, but I don't see anything. She even, like, closes the barn door because she's like, maybe they got in. She's like really, really worried, which makes total sense. She's a teenager. She's alone in a barn on top of a site where a number of murders occurred. So she is very scared. So she's getting progressively more, like, freaked out. And then she does see something. A teenage boy. But when her flashlight touches him, he disappears. So she stops shining the flashlight, and then she can see him. And he just says, I want to go home. And at that point, she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, is he one of the boys? Like, he has to be one of Morgan Roehmer's boys, but, like, which one is he? And she admittedly is not that knowledgeable. She's like, that happened a long time ago. Like, I know about the track star and the transient worker, but, like, did I pay attention to the rest of it? No. Do I watch the retrospectives on TV? No. It's so long ago. It's like 40 years, but okay. I say this as someone who's about to turn 35. 40 years is not that long ago. But she's, like, very, like, not aware of all of the people. So she's, like, trying to remember, like, who they were. Is he this one? Is he this one? She goes, oh, and he goes, they left me, they left me, they left me. And he's seemingly saying he was not taken with the other boys and he was buried under the porch. Now, they do say that they did not search the porch. She does remember that they found them in the house, not the porch. She's like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And he asked her to wait with him. Now, again, I told you I'm spoiling this story because I've already basically spoiled it for you in other videos. So you can ignore the rest of this if you want, but I'm going to tell you how this one ends. I didn't tell you about the other ones, but I'm telling you how this one ends. So he's like, well, can you call for help? Can you get someone to help us? And she's like, well, no, my headset's broken. And he goes, oh, I can fix electronics. I was really good at them back then. And I'm like, okay, I don't know that I would trust a ghost from the 1960s to fix my headset from the 2000s, but sure, technology hasn't advanced that far in 40 years, I guess. She then gives him her headset, and I won't tell you how this occurs, but I will tell you that Ashley does not survive this story, because the boy in question is not a boy. It's Morgan Roehmer, who points out, this is the exact line. I'm going to pull it up because this is the part that I remembered very clearly from the book. So let's see. Hold on. This is the part I remembered. Why in the world did she assume a ghost would choose to look the way its body had looked at the moment of death? So he has chosen to look like his 17-year-old self, which has confused our slightly boy crazy Ashley into trusting him, which no one should ever do. And now he is free to move about because he has killed someone and has power and is gaining some kind of level of, not what would that be? Physicalness? He's getting more able to touch things and stuff. So now he's prepared to go on like a brand new Morgan Roehmer's Boys collection spree. So yeah, that is the story I remembered from my youth all of those years ago and desperately was trying to find. He doesn't show up till near the end, but I was like, I swear this story existed. And it did. And it is very creepy because if a ghost can appear as anything, you can't trust any ghost because it could look like anything at once. So I had a very fun time reading this short story collection. We are going to chill. Krista, I think, is going to watch some more football stuff because she has to set her draft tonight, which I already mentioned. And then I'll probably try and convince her to watch like one more Bob's episode. My hand is really close to camera, sorry. But yeah, so that was All Hallows Eve. Now, Morgan Roehmer's Boys is technically the third story, not the last story, but because I wanted to highlight it at the very end, you got it as story 13 instead of story 3. So I highly recommend. This one was very fun. I liked this one more than Curses Inc. So if you're looking for a fun, creepy, scary stories book designed for young readers, but still works for adults, All Hallows Eve, 13 Stories by Vivian Van Velde. But yeah, that is it. I have nothing else to tell you. So keep an eye out for the next video. I have a plan for it already. I do have some holds I'm waiting for at the library, but they're gonna take a while, I'm very sure. So yeah, the next video is already planned, kind of, loosely in my brain. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. I'm also on Instagram at ClefGoEverAfter, and that's it. See you in the next one, gremlins.